Hi everyone, I'm Joanne with Quiet Waters Farm and Craft. We are going to be making some flour tortillas today. I did a previous video of sweet potato tortillas and they turned out great, so you will have to check that video out. But we are going to be having some tacos tonight, so I'm going to make up some tortilla shells, or some soft tortillas. We're trying our best to get away from buying everything at the store and making it more at home. Buying more stuff in bulk, so that way we are taking less trips to the store, and also we know what is going into our food to feed our family. So the few ingredients that you'll need is 1 3/4 cup of flour. Now I'm using a wheat flour, so if you want to use all-purpose flour or whatever flour that you want, that's completely up to you. Use the brand that you like best. Just make sure that you don't mix it. If you only have a cup of this flour kind and a 3/4 cup of another flour, just make sure that it's all the same flour, because it could potentially mess up your tortillas and not cook right. So the other things you're going to need is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm just going to be using regular table salt, just what I've got on hand right now. And then we're going to be using some baking powder. We're going to be using a 1/4 teaspoon of it. And then we're going to be using 3 tablespoons of oil, and I'm just going to be using some canola oil. And then the last one is going to be a 1/2 cup of hot water that we're going to put in there. So I'm going to angle the camera down so you can see what I got going on here, and we'll get it mixed up, okay? Alright, so I've already got my flour in here. Let me get out my little measuring guys here. Alright, so we are going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay. And then we're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon baking powder. I always like these little lips that they give, so that way it can help make your baking powder smooth. Alright, so that's all of our dry ingredients, so we're going to go ahead and mix this up. I always like to mix my dry ingredients and then mix my liquids in another one, but this is a little bit different of a recipe. Alright, so now that we got that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of our oil. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give this a little mix. It's going to start to clump up here. It'll really start coming together when we get our hot water in there. Make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. Alright, now we're going to add a 1/2 cup, and we want hot water. And I just turned my faucet on until the water got really hot. I didn't boil it or anything. Almost to the point where I've got to get my fingers a little messy. Now I would probably avoid wearing any jewelry. I just have a plain band that I wear when I'm cooking. I try to take my wedding set off if I remember to do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay, so put this up. Get all this stuff out of my way here. Now I am going to get a little bit more flour. I always have like a 1/4 cup sitting in my 1/4 cup measuring cup in my flour jar at all times. So I'm just going to put a little bit and sprinkle it out. And we're just going to dump this out on our counter. Now you're more than welcome to use your cutting board, but mine's not that big. So I'd like to have a big wood one day, but we'll work on that. All right, so now we're just going to keep kneading the dough together until we don't have a whole lot of crumbs. And for the most part, it doesn't stick to you, not like the sweet potatoes. That can, the one that I did on the sweet potatoes, it kind of got a little sticky there, but you just want to keep folding it over and pushing it in there. Put all this right in the middle so I can knead it in my dough. Now this will make 8 tortillas, so if you're having a big dinner, you might want to up your ingredients, but we have a family of 5, so I might make them a little bit smaller, and plus I still have a couple extra, so alright. Just going to move a couple of these crumbs out of the way. And we're just going to get this into a ball. Alright, then I'm going to take my little, it's a pizza cutter, but I love this thing. So I'm going to chop it in half. I'm going to chop it in half again. And then I'm going to chop it in half again on both sides to where I have 8. Just like that. Okay. Then, you know, it's whatever you want to do. I just kind of roll it in a ball. Some people, you know, twist it into little, yeah, they kind of play with it and make it go like this, but I find it best to just, that goes with that. Roll it in a ball. Because I'm going to be flattening out anyway, so it's not something that has to be perfect. Maybe we got left 4, okay. So it's totally your preference. I'm going to put that with that one because that one is not a very big piece of dough. And these are very flaky, you know, it's not one that's going to be real sticky. Because when you start rolling it out, you want to get it as thin as you possibly can. Alright, so I'm going to move all this over here, my crumbs. Alright, so we have a nice surface here. Alright, now I am going to flour my rolling pin here. Alright. We want to try to get this as flat as possible. Now for those of you that have like a marble top or like a dark brown mocha or whatever it is, you want to try to get it to where you can almost see through your dough is what you want. So we're just gonna, now I'm gonna turn my stove off, or I got a, let me angle my camera up here. Over here I have a cast iron skillet. I'm going to go ahead and get that turned on to medium-high heat, okay? Make sure that's as far away as possible. And we're just going to start rolling. Okay. We're just going to start rolling. And this is kind of deformed a little bit, so it's alright, not gonna hurt nothing. As long as we can get it to look like a tortilla, right? Just flip her over. My countertop has this little hump here, so makes it where it's not giving me an even dough, so I gotta be careful where I am. This one's just not cooperating, right? Is it? Somebody's gonna have a funky looking. Now you're gonna have to press pretty hard here. And it's almost paper thin. Well, this tortilla is just not going to be my friend. Alright, I'm going to get this on the stove. Alright, now you're only going to want to put that on there for about 30 to 40 seconds and then check it, and you're going to want to flip it. Just try to see if we can get this one to look a little bit more like a tortilla. I think this one might have a better shot. I just turned my oven on, so it's not quite hot where it needs to be yet, so I'm going to leave it on for just a couple more seconds. I think I need to put some more. When it starts sticking like that, you want to get some more flour on your dough. My shells aren't going to look very circle-like. Okay, that's still good over there. Pan's not fully heated yet. Alright, it's just going to aggravate me. We're going to roll this up and try again. A little bit more like what it's supposed to. Give her a nice flip. It's gonna stick again. I don't know how much you guys enjoy, you know, cooking and making things for your family, but it's one of the things that I love to do. I love to be in the kitchen. You know, I could care less if I have a master bedroom with a master bath. I just want a big kitchen. That is me. Alright, so we need to go over and check our tortillas over here, so let's jump over here to the stove a minute. And it's starting to bubble up, so we're going to give it a flip. It hasn't started browning or anything yet, but it will. So we're just going to let this cook just for about 30-40 seconds on here, because the pan is at the temp it needs to be, and it's already starting to bubble here. Now you don't want it to bubble up a whole lot. You can just sit there and like tap it with your spatula or your tongs, whichever one that you're using. I'm just going to flip it over again. You know, like I said, you only want to leave about 30 to 40 seconds and then give it a good flip, because it is pretty hot. And you can see the discoloration. It needs to cook a little bit more over here. And it's starting to bubble up in the middle there. Might have to make a taco salad with this one. Make it a little bit more crunchy. You can hear it sizzling. I loved it when I made the sweet potato ones, because my kitchen smelled like sweet potatoes and it just smelled really good. One of my kids doesn't really care for sweet potatoes, so obviously when they walked in the door they weren't very happy with the smell that they were smelling with the sweet potatoes. But we had fun. And they were very, very good. So, you know, you're going to have to check out that video also, if you like sweet potatoes. My grandparents, we went and took them down some sweet potatoes. They weren't home, so I left them on their sun porch, and I got a phone call telling me how great they tasted because they knew I made them. You didn't even have to wonder who made those. They already knew. Now it's starting to brown up a little bit, so we are almost done with this tortilla. Starting to bubble up right over here. Turned out really good. And you can hear it's starting to get hard. Yeah, it looks really good. Can't wait to eat these. We love tacos. It's like one of our family favorites. Okay, I'm going to spin this around over here so I can show you once we take this off. Sorry, I had to pause and flip, and kids were coming in. I didn't want them to be too noisy. All right, well, this one is done here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Alright, so when you're taking your tortilla out, you want to get a bowl, and I just have this ceramic bowl, and you want to put a towel in there to take it off, so that way they stay nice and soft in there. Then you just want to flip your towel over onto it until you finish. So I'm just going to get the rest of these cooked up. Man, that looks so good. All right, check it out. That looks so delicious. I can't wait to eat them. All right, well, I'm going to get the rest of these rolled out so that way I can finish getting dinner done. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Share this with your friends. That not only benefits you, but it benefits me and my family. Yes, share with all your friends so that way you guys can make memories together and have fun, and y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.